2018 bikes are coming out, and a lot of them are coming back now with not only spring forks, but the sort of A kit spring fork, so to speak. Um, what are your thoughts on kind of suspension development going into 2018 and beyond, and kind of the air fork versus spring fork thing that keeps flipping back and forth, it seems?
Well, the whole thing with the whole air fork, say, revolution or introduction was, I mean, it was kind of a sensitive matter for a while, but now it's not that big a deal. That it actually came about because the motorcycle motocross industry, and as far as the Japanese companies, were trying to reduce cost of the bikes. So they the manufacturers actually came to KYB and Showa and the suspension providers and said, we want something new, some new technology, and it's got, the performance has to be at least as good or better than current, and it has to be cheaper. So that was a really big challenge, and so KYB's answer to that request was to go with an air spring system, because you're eliminating the spring and trying to modify the damping systems also to reduce cost. And so they actually achieved it because the performance in many ways was better, and it was in fact cheaper and lighter. So they did achieve what they were asked to do. But what happened was, when it was introduced to the public wasn't ready to accept the extra maintenance and the complexity of setting it up properly. So within 2 years, the public went from wanting something new and exciting to wanting something much simpler that they could just get on and ride and not have to mess with. So eventually what happened was, it was considered, I won't say it was considered a failure, but with Yamaha not going to the air and getting much better evaluations and stuff, they finally just decided, let's not fight it, let's just go back to what they want. So they basically went back to spring systems, and in order to just not say, oh, well, we've just gone back to what we had before, they added some advancements in that, for the spring design, which are now actually considered A-kit features or something, but it's more just the configuration of the reintroduced spring systems.
And WP is still running their 48 millimeter air fork that has pretty good reviews overall compared to some of the reviews that did come out about the other air forks. Do you ever see air forks coming back around eventually?
Well, the thing that I've recommended to KYB was continue development on the air suspension, because, as I said, there are some advantages to it, and it is lighter. But as far as production, development and stuff, we should just go back to the spring systems. So the thing I always say is, the public always seems to want whatever they can't have. So if we continue to develop air suspension on the factory bikes, it's just a matter of time before they go, well, we want what they have. So there's a chance it could come back, but I think it's gonna take a while probably.
And you mentioned performance a little bit of both. Did you feel like maybe an air fork suits certain riders better than a spring fork, or vice versa?
Well, a air spring versus a coil spring has definite differences. We've found that some riders like it, and some riders, no matter what you do, don't like it. So, it's something that I think it will always exist. I think that probably a advantage possibly to the WP system is the fact that in practice even I've heard and understand that for some reason they don't need as much maintenance and the constant checking of pressures that the Japanese systems did. And I don't know why, but that seems to be a big factor in customer satisfaction.